All right. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is day 3 of the event. What we are conducting. It was 3-day event, and then this is happened to be the day 3, and then this is again going to be like 90 minutes of session. And then today we were thinking if any of you wanted to give us a feedback. At the end of this session, I would give them an access for the voice controls, so that you can talk and then give us the feedback. Or if you guys want to do the video as well, let us know, and then I can make you guys I can invite you guys to give us the feedback at the end of the session, which would be good, which would be encouraging for us, and then which would be we would know the feedback direct firsthand, and then also the other participants could also know it as well. All right. It was really a wonderful 3-day event. I mean, the all you guys, the participants, you guys are all wonderful, very interactive. It really made our job and life easy. And then being interacting with each other is always makes the better sessions better. So again, once again, I am Vijay Kiran. I head the consulting division for Wati, and then I have been in the industry for about 15 years now. And then I handle the client relations. Most of it is public sector, let it be city, state, county, you name it. And then also we have been involved in projects from, let's say, like about 100K to budgeting from 100K to $10 million budgets, which I was involved and then responsible for those kind of projects. And yeah, coming down to Wadi, I received a few of the questions yesterday. You were asking, a few of them were asking, what kind of services does Wadi provide? We do, like, in cybersecurity specific, we do penetration testing, we do vulnerability assessment, we do management consulting, we do managed services, we do compliance, we do many more. If you have the questions, just direct it to info@wati.com, and then we would be very eager and happy to respond back to you guys. All right, coming to us, like, we are in the industry from since 1998, which is 23 years now. And we are in 4 locations. 3 of them happen to be here in US, and then 1 international. And then we have like 6 practices which we do here in Wati, and then cybersecurity is one among them. And then we majoritarily or majorly or largely work with the public sector, like I mentioned, city, county, or and also do projects for product-based companies, and also private sector and commercial as well. Just reach out to us if any of the companies have any questions or anything. We also do we will be happy to do POCs for you guys to initiate it, and then take it forward from there. Again, the hero, the star of the day, Mr. Vinod. Please welcome. He is. You might have already seen him for 2 days, and then you know how much depth he has in the subject, or what he speaks, or what he does. So he's the guru of cybersecurity. That's what I know. All right, over to you, Vinod. You're already promoted to co-host, so please take it over.
Hey, thank you, Vijay. Can you all please confirm if my voice is audible? Can you all please confirm if you're all able to hear me? I'm looking at the chat, that chat option available too. Excellent. Wonderful. So throughout this program, I will still continue to use the chat option. And any questions that you might have regarding to what we are covering, I'd be happy to address at any instance of time. In case you have any questions that are not relevant to the topic that we are covering for the moment, you can make a note of those questions, and you can store it for the frequently asked questions or the Q&A session, which we have planned the last part of the program, and we would be happy to take it forward, right? So And as we all know that all good things come to an end at some point in time. So we have already touched the day 3 of the program, and by far we have hardly spent close to 1 hour on day 1, 1 hour, day 2, 1 hour, and probably the last 1 hour of the bootcamp series where right. So I mean, let us try to make this last day as memorable as possible. So in case you want to have any questions or drop in a feedback, or you want to share your feedback as a video feedback also, we will be happy to engage you after the Q&A session, right? So I'll take over this session right now. So I mean, Vijay, am I a host now? Can you please confirm me on that?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, so I will take this as opportunity to share my screen, requesting you to please confirm if my screen is visible. Okay, hold on. Okay, can you all please confirm me if the screen is visible? The screen that I've shared? Excellent. Wow, wonderful. Okay, so excellent. Wonderful. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Pravin. Okay, I see participants from different backgrounds as part of today's program. Looks like inbox. Okay, let me reconfirm. Can you all please reconfirm if you're all able to see the presentation slide? Wonderful, excellent, wonderful. So let me get started. So today we are going to be seeing some very interesting vulnerabilities. When I say vulnerabilities, I am going to be showing you some demos which we do not know how intrinsic it is already in our day-to-day lives. All right. So let us see something very interesting. Okay. So for which I would request you all to just share any domain name, maybe your company's website URL or your organization's website URL, right? So if you can type that on the chat option, I can use that as a demo for today. Okay, I see there are different websites. Okay, I see autorabbit.com, I see ariglobalsolutions.com, I see viltis-us.com, etc. Right? So I want you to understand a very simple idea. Okay, if I were an attacker, if I were a cyber criminal, I would not want to waste a lot of my time, right, in doing an attack on a Windows machine with Linux related exploits. Am I clear? There's no point me trying to do Linux attack on a Windows machine. The only outcome that I would end up in doing such attacks is it's a failure mission, isn't it? So to make things a little more effective, any attacker has few steps in which he gets started, right? So as we saw, the first day was very beginner level program, right? Second day was little intermediate program, and today we are going to be touching a little interesting topics which are considered advanced. Okay, so let us see some very interesting. Yes, so we are going to be seeing something called the information gathering, or we can also call it enumeration. Okay, there are very interesting terminologies in here. Okay, first of all, I need to understand, if I were an attacker, I need to understand what is the
We lost your voice, Vinod.
can you confirm if I'm audible now?
Now, yes.
Okay. Vijay, if you don't mind, can you let me know if such thing happen again? Because I was continuously talking back then.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Vijay. So, I mean, is the video visible, or should I switch it off for saving some bandwidth?
No, no, video is visible though.
Okay, excellent. So I would repeat this point again. So attacker has his own method in which, or his own set of processes with which he approaches to attack, right? For an example, assume I am an attacker. I would not spend a lot of time in trying to attack a Windows machine by using Linux related exploits, right? And it applies to anything. If, for example, let me give you an example. There are two major components here. One is passive and the other one is active. Okay. So information gathering and enumeration has a very close relationship between each other. Okay. Let me explain you that. Enumeration is a process where I, as an attacker, establish a direct connection from my computer to the destination computer to gather information. Am I clear? So that is enumeration. And the other one, on the other hand, is called the footprinting process. Footprinting process is a method in which I try to gather information about my
You're
target
breaking
system.
up, Vinod.
Okay. Let me quickly check 1 minute. Can you please confirm me, Vijay, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, pretty much. Very
Okay, I just, okay, in case it repeats again, I will probably switch to another internet. All right. Okay. So I was saying about the information gathering process or the enumeration process. Information gathering process is a technique where I, as a cyber attacker, try to gather information about a remote system by not establishing a direct connection between my system to the destination system. Okay, that's information gathering. On the other hand, enumeration is a process where I try to gather information about the destination system or the scope by establishing a direct connection between my system and the other system. For example, I'm sure most of you know popular websites where you can apply jobs, right? Monster.com, Dice.com, and a few other websites, right? And what happens? Say, for example, you find a job opportunity available in, say, for example, AutoRabbit. I saw one of the audience posting AutoRabbit as one of their client, right? So what we do, we go to monster.com trying to apply for a certain job, right? When I search job opportunities pertaining to a company, I also notice that there are some very interesting job listings that are displayed. For example, AutoRabbit has a job for Cisco Certified Network Associate or CCNA expert. Okay, or it has an opportunity for checkpoint engineer, which is a firewall. Cisco again is a firewall. So what do we derive from this? We derive that the company called AutoRabbit has a requirement for a checkpoint engineer, meaning the company likely has a checkpoint firewall, or the company likely has a Cisco firewall or Juniper firewall, Alcatel firewall, Sophos firewall, etc. Am I clear? So this is a technique where an attacker tries to gather information about what what is the existing setup or the infrastructure that the company holds. Am I clear? Yes or no? Can you all please type in clear on the chat option that is available? Can you all please use the chat option so that I'm sure that you're all able to follow? Am I too audible? Excellent. Wonderful. Okay. So having said that, what I use right now is a passive or a indirect method of trying to gather information about what is the infrastructure I have in my organization, right? Or what you have in your organization. Say I am an attacker now. I want to gather information about what you have in your organization, what infrastructure, what products you have in your organization, right? So if I know that you are buying Windows servers, then I know that, or if you have a Windows, server management expert required, right? Which means that you are likely a Windows-based or Microsoft-based company, and likely chances of you using Linux product are less. Am I clear, right? So this is a very simple technique. Likewise, there are other techniques where you could establish a direct connection from your computer to the other computer and do some probing activity where you can get information about what is a product or a server or a specific software that is running on the remote system, right? Let us see some examples around it. Before that, I will take the example that we saw, right? So can you all type in the URL of your respective organization so that I can use that as a reference? I opened builtwith.com. I want all of you to understand there is a website called builtwith.com. Correct? I open builtwith.com and let us say I open AutoRabbit inside builtwith.com. Can you all confirm me if my screen is visible? Are you all able to see my screen where I have shared a browser where I've gone to builtwith.com? Can you all please confirm me that? Excellent. Now what I do, I actually type autorabbit.com here and I say lookup. When I say lookup, please pay attention what happens in here. It tells me a lot of information about the specific company's website. Look at this, it clearly tells autorabbit.com is running on WordPress. Wow, that's a pretty interesting information, isn't it? And it is using Owsps plugin, which is primarily for SEO that is used by WordPress, right? So look at this. Now I can just simply say autorabbit.com, all right? And having said it is WordPress, there are likely chances I say wp-admin. Let us see what happens when I say wp-admin. Look at this. How interesting is this, right? So when I say wp-admin, after autorabbit.com, we are able to find that this website is running WordPress and this is a clear example of the same. Am I clear? Yes or no? Right? So likewise, I would suggest you to share me your other website links. Maybe there's another website shared called serversupply.com, right? One of other participants who said serversupply.com. Now, again, in serversupply.com, it tells a lot of information about the website and how it is built and what are the backend technologies of the particular website. It uses a cart functionality. The website is built on ASP.NET, and they also use a Rackspace CDN, Content Delivery Network. And interestingly, they also use a Cloudflare JS. So there is a lot of information that we are able to derive from the mere URL of the website. Am I clear? And it clearly says it is running a IIS 8, which means that it is running a Microsoft IIS 8 web server. Am I clear? So I will avoid trying to reach out doing any Linux related attacks. Am I clear? Does that make sense? Wonderful. Okay, now I go back again. I put another website here for lookup. Please pay attention. It also is a WordPress website. It says WordPress plugin, contact forms, and all this. Wonderful. So what I can do is I'll say reglobalsolutions.com. ariglobalsolutions.com/wp-admin. What is wp-admin? wp-admin is a default folder that is by default installed for any of the WordPress plugins. Okay, so it says there is some security measures taken on Array Global Solutions. So what I do right now, I say WP Theme Detector. I search for WP Theme Detector. Please pay attention. Very interesting website. It is also similar to builtwith.com. What do? I just search for Array Global here. And I also open WP Theme Detector against autorabbit.com, right? Let us see if it is able to get us some information about the site. Wonderful. Please pay attention. We have got a lot of information about the website. Okay, ariglobalsolutions.com. It clearly says that this particular website uses multiple WordPress plugins. One is it uses Contact Form 7 plugin. Number two, it also uses Countdown Timer Ultimate plugin. Number three, it also uses Email Subscribers and Newsletters plugin. Fourth, it uses Yoast SEO and a few more very interesting information, which means that when I already got this information, I will not only try to identify bugs on WordPress, but also try to find potential bugs on Contact Form 7 plugin or Countdown Timer plugin or Email Subscribe or Yoast SEO plugin, right? Which means that if one of the plugins that are available on the WordPress content management system is vulnerable, it will make the whole web application on the website vulnerable. Am I clear? Yes or no? Excellent. Okay, I want you all to understand a very simple idea, right? The idea is this. How many of you are aware of dynamics sites or maybe I can put it this way. I'm sure you all are aware of dynamic and static websites, correct? Likewise, how many of you are aware about dedicated servers and shared servers? Excellent. Okay, in dedicated server, what happens is a particular website or a web application is dedicated with just one single server, correct? On the contradictory, shared server is like you use popular websites like domain.com or godaddy.com, etc., where you only pay a few dollars for the whole year and they give you access to hosting a website on their server. Yes or no? Correct? Which means that you don't pay much, but you just get a portion of the server's usage and you make the best use out of it. Correct? And that is called the shared server. And something interesting about the shared server is, yes, it is cheap. It is a lot more cheaper than a dedicated server, right? But apparently, I want you to understand there are multiple websites that could be hosted on a single server. Yes or no? Since it's a shared server, there can be n number of websites. There can be close to 500 to 600 websites that are hosted in a single server. Yes or no? Correct? Having said that, if there is one website in the whole 600 lot websites which are hosted on this shared server, if there is one website that is vulnerable to one particular attack, it can cause the whole 599 rest of the other websites also vulnerable to an attack. Yes or no? Excellent. So I want you to understand this, right? Say, imagine there is a multi-story building. It's a skyscraper, right? So say, imagine there are 25 floors on the building, right? Having said that, there are 25 floors in the building. Imagine you are in the 5th floor in the building, okay? Suddenly, you get to know that the 25th floor is, say, there's some something happened and it is on fire, okay? It's on fire. will you just say that, hey, that's okay, I'm in the 5th floor, that's happening on the 25th floor, it's okay, I'm here? Will you say that, or you will want to run right away? If you say you will want to run, please say run on chat box. Excellent. Okay, interesting. So it is very simple. There's one skyscraper where you have multiple sites hosted. One site vulnerable makes the whole system vulnerable, the whole container vulnerable. Yes or no? Likewise, in a shared server, there might be 25 different applications hosted, 25 different websites hosted, out of which one of the site might be your site, right? You might have put in a lot of time, effort, and resources for making sure your web application or your website is very secure, correct? You have spent a lot of security testing, vulnerability assessment, all that to make sure your website is secure. But apparently, the rest of the 24 websites hosted on the same shared server might have not done that, right? Making it a point that an attacker can compromise one of the 24 websites, and that would pave way for an attacker to gain access to your website as well, right? It makes your site also compromised, right? Virtualized environment might get some, absolutely. So that is where virtualized environment came in. That is why there are methods of inculcate. I mean, there's a very interesting method of called vhosts, virtual hosts, right? So they virtually separate the websites as a separate host. But I'll tell you, there are very interesting multiple types of attacks where one virtual host that is getting compromised can also pave way for an attacker to access the other virtual hosts that are hosted on the same system. Am I clear? There are methods, and they call it the remote code execution methods or remote procedure call methods, etc. Am I clear? Yes or no? Wonderful. Okay, so what did we see? We actually saw builtwith.com, through which we were able to gather some information about any target website. Yes or no? Right? And next, excellent. I want you all to know that there is a website called Dnsdumpster.com. Please pay attention. It's Dnsdumpster. Okay, Dnsdumpster.com looks very simple, like a typical Google page where you have only one text box where you type in a domain name. Okay, now it doesn't seem to work with HTTPS websites. Kevin Brown. Kevin, HTTP versus HTTPS does not have anything to do with vhosts. Okay, so imagine there are close to around 25 websites. One of your website is a secure HTTPS website that is also hosted on the same shared server, right? But it does not guarantee anything saying that even one of the other 24 websites are vulnerable. Then also it still makes your site also compromised. Am I clear? And HTTPS has got nothing to do here. Okay, I'll tell you what HTTPS is for, right? Before that, I'll quickly show this quick demo, right? So we were talking about multiple sites, right? So can you all just tell me a popular website, like maybe 5-6 popular website domain names on the chat option available, please? Can you please type in some popular websites that you want me to try here? Reddit.com, fine. CNN.com, Cisco.com, excellent. Oracle.com. Okay, let me try a few. www.cnn.com. Let's see what happens. Wow, look at this. I want you to notice. Okay, there's not much information here, meaning CNN has probably taken some efforts to fix it. I'll tell you what they fixed. Now I say Cisco. Let us see if there any information. There's only one information available here about Cisco, so they probably have done something to secure it. Okay, let me go to Amazon.com. I think they might have something interesting. Let us see what. Wow, look at this. We are able to see their DNS servers, their MX records, their TXT records, their host records. Let us see what is the host record that we are able to find. See, it opens up a view for an attacker, right, where it shows up most of their public facing core infrastructure IP addresses. Am I clear? Yes or no? Look at this. It opens up a lot of IP addresses, meaning if I want to hack as an attacker, if my intent is wrong, right? If I want to hack into Amazon.com, and I know that Amazon.com is really secure, but I'm certain that they say there are close to 2,000, 3,000 IPs listed here. I'm sure not all the IPs will be as secure as the home site. Yes or no? Excellent. Maybe there are honeypot. Okay, maybe there are on honeypot, but apparently they are not. Okay, this technique is interestingly popularly used in terms of gathering DNS related information. Okay, so what we are going to do right now is we are going to do a popular attack. This is considered a little advanced attack where we are going to see if we are able to do something called the DNS zone transfer. Am I clear? DNS zone transfer. Okay, let us understand something quickly. Yeah. So I'm sure most of you are aware about this screen. Android phone book contacts. Let me open up this image. Okay, so I'm sure many of you are very comfortable with this interface, right? You have a name, and when you click on the name, it shows their phone numbers. Yes or no? Correct? Meaning, this is a method in which a particular phone number is mapped to a respective name. Correct? Likewise, what is DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name System, which is offered by Domain Name Server. The service is called the Domain Name Service. Am I clear? The DNS and the service is the DNS service offered by DNS server. And can any of you know what port number does DNS run on? What port number does DNS run on? Excellent. DNS does not run on port 8080. It runs on port 53. Okay, excellent. So let us quickly brush up what are the popular port numbers and associated services, right? I'll just quickly run through this for your information, right? So I'm just quickly going to only talk about the popular 10 ports, maybe, right? Port number 20 and 21, TCP, is used for FTP service, file transfer protocol service. Port number 22, TCP, is used for SSH. Port number 23 is used for telnet, of course, like beautiful. Kevin has got a list there. Port number 80, TCP, is used for HTTP. Port number 443, TCP, is used for HTTPS. 3389 is used for RDP, which is remote desktop, right? And 143 is used by IMAP, etc. Port number 53 is used by DNS, right? Port number 53 TCP, 53 UDP. 53 UDP is used by DNS query. Okay, 53 TCP is used by zone transfers. Am I clear? Excellent. Let us see what we can do, right? I'm just taking a quick example of my college website. Okay, I am from annauniv.edu. Okay, this is a website, and please be mindful, this is not an attack. This is mere misconfiguration, which also potentially could lead to a vulnerability. right? But this is not an attack per se, right? But it is important that we understand this particular attack and how it is done so that we know what we should do to prevent that attack. Am I clear? Excellent. Now, let us go to who.is. There's a popular website called who.is. It is otherwise called the lookup website. Okay, what do we look up in this website? We look up the registrant information of websites. Okay, registrant information of websites. For example, www.wati.com. I'm sure, please pay attention. It says domain privacy service. So at wati.com, what we have done is we have paid a little additional, right, to prevent our registrant data displayed onto this website. Am I clear? Yes or no? Excellent. Now what I do is I say www.annauniv.edu. Please pay attention what happens here. When I say annauniv.edu, it shows me the registrant detail, administrative contact detail, technical contact detail, phone number, and their email IDs. Yes or no? Are you all able to follow this? Wonderful, right? So please pay attention. There's something called the name servers. Yes or no? Do you find something called the name servers? Excellent. So name server is responsible. Just imagine I want to go to google.com. Okay. Will it be feasible for me to remember the IP address of google.com? Say I say ping www.google.com. When I do this, please pay attention. I just type the IP address and I say enter. What happens? It takes me to google.com. Yes or no? So our browser is able to communicate to the remote website using IP addresses. Yes or no? But is it possible that we remember? Is it possible that we remember the IP address of google.com, yahoo.com, Netflix, whatever, right? So is it possible? No. So what we do is we have this DNS service in place. We map each of the name like our Android contacts or the phone book, where each of the number and the names are mapped together. Am I clear? Each of them are mapped together. So let us see. This is the name server which knows. Let me open up a paintbrush. Okay. And the interesting part here is, please pay attention. Assume this is going to be the Anna University's network. Okay. There are multiple computers in this network. Assume these are all computers. Okay, assume these are all different computers inside Anna University's network. I want you to know there has to be something called the DNS server here. Yes or no? There has to be something called the DNS server in this network, which will allow us to do a query from external or from internal. Let me show you an example in here. Right? Say this is going to be the DNS server. This DNS server is the point of contact for all the machines inside, which is usually the default gateway of the network. Am I clear? Yes or no? See, how do I confirm? I go to command. Here in the command prompt, I type in ipconfig/all. When I do that, please pay attention. There is a wireless network of my computer, correct? And the let us see what is the DNS server here. Look at this. The DNS server of my system is 192.168.0.1. What is 0.1? 0.1 is nothing but my router's IP, which is the default gateway. So usually what happens is the DNS server itself is the default gateway. Am I clear? Yes or no? Wonderful. Right now, what I'm going to do is I am actually here, correct? I am outside the Anna University's network, meaning I am not inside their network. I am actually from the public internet, meaning I am not a part of their network, right? What I'm going to do is I am going to send a request to the DNS server as if the request is done by one of their internal networks computer. Am I clear? Yes or no? Okay. I am going to say, excellent. I am going to mimic as if I am one of their internal networks and I'm asking it to share their DNS zone, meaning zone file. What is a zone file? Okay. In your Android phone, on phone book option, have you ever tried to send one particular phone contact from one person to the other person, maybe using WhatsApp? When you try to do that, it usually sends the file as a VCF file, visiting card file. Yes or no? Yes, it's called the VCF file. So what happens is multiple VCF files together form a contact database. Yes or no? Likewise, a zone transfer means multiple host data entries files together form a zone transfer. Am I clear? Yes or no? Wonderful. Excellent. Now what I'm doing is, please pay attention. I am going to use a very simple default utility from Windows. I am not using any fancy tools here. I'm just using a default Windows utility to perform this test. Okay. I'm just saying NS lookup. What is NS? NS stands for name server lookup. Am I clear? NS stands for name server lookup. Okay. And it also says 192.168.0.1. Am I clear? Now what I'm going to do is, we all are aware that this IP is my local system's intranet's default gateway. Am I clear? Yes or no? What I should do, I should make my nslookup.exe's server as Anna University's nslookup server. Am I clear? Excellent. If you're all clear, please type in the word clear on chat. Please type in the word clear on chat. Excellent. Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say server ns dot. Please pay attention. What is the name server here? ns.annainu.edu or ns1.annainu.edu. Please pay attention. It says can't find the address, so non-existent domain. So this server is down. So don't worry. We just say server ns1 dot. Is that ns1? Yes, ns1 dot annainu.edu. Am I clear? If you pay attention, now nslookup.exe applications lookup IP address is not the default gateway IP. Instead, it is the ns1.annainu.com.edu's IP. Right? When I say server ns1.annainu.edu, it shows this IP address. Right? Should we confirm if this is the same system that we are reaching out? How do we do that? We go to CMD ping. That's it. See if it responds back. It says 14.139.161.6. Right? So please pay attention. 14.139.161.6. Am I clear? Yes or no? Are you all able to follow? Excellent. Now I say help. When I say help, there are multiple options associated with this NSLOOKUP's help option, right? What do? I am just going to use simply two commands. Command number one, I say set type equal to multiple records are there. I'm just going to say the type any. Okay. DNS obviously has multiple DNS records. You have a canonical name record, you have a mail exchange server record, you have a NSLOOKUP record, you have a PTR record, you have start of authority record, you have so many different types of records, right? So I am just going to say set type equal to any. Am I clear here? Any questions here? Excellent. Okay, and now I'm just going to execute the next command here, ls -d, which means list all records and the domain name. That is all. We are done. ls -d annauniv.edu. Please pay attention. All I'm doing is just this. Wow, what do you see here? Now, what has happened is we did the query not from this computer. We did the query making it a point that we are one of the computers here in this network, and we asked this DNS server what we tried to probe this DNS server. This DNS server is not secured enough to check if the request is coming from the internal network or the external network. So it responded back with all the information about their internal network. Am I clear? Yes or no? Right? So you can see admissions, you can see Center of Excellence email, you have e-learning, you have FP online, you have mail, you have library, you have so many different record options available in here, right? Am I clear? Yes or no? Okay. So please pay attention. How many of you were able to follow till this? Do you want me to repeat this whole thing? I can just quickly summarize the whole thing. Okay, okay, that's okay. That's okay. I can repeat it, Jane. No issues. Sophie, no issues. I can repeat it. No worries. Excellent. I'll definitely repeat. No issues. Okay. Please pay attention. All I'm doing is I'm going to who.is. I'm saying annauniv.edu, and it shows me the name servers of the system. Apart from these kind of information, I am very keen on the name servers. Okay. Now what do? I say NSLOOKUP. In NSLOOKUP, this NSLOOKUP.exe is a default application that is shipped with your Microsoft Windows. And what we do is NSLOOKUP, we want to change this server to ns1.annauniv.edu. Am I clear? So I'll just make a note of the steps so that you can repeat it as well. Step 1, NSLOOKUP. 2, I say server ns1.annauniv.edu. 3, I say set type equal to any. And step 4, I say ls-d annauniv.edu. That is all. Am I clear? Okay, let me complete this. Server, I type the server name. Now I say set type Now I say ls-d anna-univ.edu. Am I clear? Yes or no? Are you all able to follow? Wonderful. I think there's some question from someone there. Let me check. So you looked up the NS of for the network you wanted to probe. Then you changed your listed DNS to that of server's IP. Then made a request via that IP so that you are on the local network. Chris, you are perfectly correct. That is exactly what I did. Okay. So there are very simple technique of what we should do to fix this. Okay. You can simply enable DNSSEC on the remote server. This kind of trust issues, trust boundary issues, where trusted DNS servers only communicate. These issues are default addressed when you enable DNSSEC. Am I clear? Yes, but I get bad error value. Kevin, are you there on a Windows machine? If you're on a Linux machine or Macintosh machine, I would suggest you use the command called dig. Okay, maybe you might want to consider adding or turning on the NS lookup feature once again and then trying it again. Should probably work then, right? So can we move on to the next one? Are you all clear? See how interesting it is. We were able to peek inside someone's network because the network was not configured properly. But apparently, we did not do any vulnerability scanning or we did not try any penetration testing, right? At times, this technique is often called as firewalking, right? You have a firewall, and while you have a firewall, this is a method that enables you to peek inside the network, and at times is called as a firewalking. Ayan, yes, quick question, Mr. Vinod. Please go ahead, Mr. Ayan. I'd be happy to take your question. Ayan, are you going to be asking any question? Okay, DuckDuckGo is a good search engine. Can you do the same thing? Same thing as in, I did not use Google search, Google or anything here. I just used a very simple NS lookup. Yeah, NS lookup is a name server lookup. Okay, so what happens? NS lookup is a name server lookup where we are saying I want to look up the name server of which website, annauniv.edu, right? So usually what happens? We get the name server details from the DNS records with which we try to do this. So a search engine and a name server lookup have got nothing to do with each other. They are two different things. Did I address your question, Ayan? Sushil, what are the last two commands? Okay, I think I just closed the notepad. I'll repeat the commands once again. NS lookup. Then I say server is one.annauniv.edu. Then I say set type equal to any. Then I say ls-d annauniv.edu. Please be mindful when you say ls-d annauniv.edu, you should not say www.annauniv.edu because we are looking only at the top level domain. Otherwise, you will not get a result back. Am I clear? Yes or no? Okay, any questions or anything that you want me to address on this? Excellent. Shall we go to the next topic? Okay, interesting. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be talking about Sql injection attack, right? Before we understand what is SQL injection, I want you all to know there is something called the OWASP top 10. OWASP top 10. Okay. So when I say OWASP's top 10, please pay attention. What is OWASP's top 10? Okay. OWASP stands for Open Web Application Security Project. Okay. So it is a not-for-profit consortium created by volunteers driven across the world. Okay. What are these volunteers about? These volunteers usually are close to around 40 different companies across the world, popular cybersecurity related core companies across the world, number one. Number two, there are close to around 500 different cybersecurity researchers who are contributors on this OWASP's top 10. And apart from that, there are multiple small groups available across the internet who constantly say, hey, I did a testing on a web application, and these are the top 10 issues that I found this year. You understand what I'm saying? It means that close to around 10 years ago, SQL injection might have been on the top vulnerability that might have been very common. Right now, there might have been some other vulnerability that might have superseded that and come into place, isn't it? Right? So what we do is we all contribute something called the OWASP's top 10, Open Web Application Securities top 10 vulnerability list. So any security testing that is being performed by organizations, you have to be mindful that you have to make sure your application is audited against these top 10 test cases. Am I clear? Yes or no? Excellent. Okay, OWASP got so famous and recognized across the world that it became a de facto standard for all the cybersecurity organizations and companies who want to get into compliance. Am I clear? Please type in clear if you're all able to follow. Can you please confirm? Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Okay, now what are we going to do? We are just going to talk quickly about the top OWASP's vulnerabilities, top 10 vulnerabilities. And if you notice, OWASP releases the top 10 vulnerabilities for every 4 to 5 years in an average, right? Which means that in 2013, OWASP's top 10 was released. Then the next OWASP's top 10 was released in 2017. And it is expected that the next OWASP's top 10 would be released somewhere in the mid of 2021, right? Or the start of 2022. Am I clear? So this is the popular OWASP's top 10 vulnerabilities. I can just quickly talk about this. Injection attack. Injection attack can be about, number one, it can be about SQL injection. It can be about LDAP injection. It can be about SSO injection, XPath injection, and so many PHP injection, ASP injections. All of this can happen on the injections. Number two, broken authentication. What is broken authentication? The word itself tells you about the broken authentication, meaning a particular user who is not allowed to have access to a particular menu or a resource is able to access the resource, right? That means it's a broken authentication. Sensitive data exposure. Obviously, sometimes what happens is there is more error data that is thrown back in the application than it should. Am I clear? So it talks about that. XML external entity is again a very simple, interesting attack. It's similar to SQL injection attack. Okay. Security misconfiguration. It is said that close to around 67% of the internet attacks or the crimes happen because of security misconfiguration or default configuration. Okay, let me help you understand that a little better. Okay, what happens in security misconfiguration or a default configuration issue, right? Imagine you buy a wireless router, right? Once you buy a wireless router, the username and the password to log in into that admin panel of the wireless network or the router is admin or admin password. Yes or no? Yes. So having said that, it is admin password, right? What happens here, right? You just log in, you start using and all that, but you don't change it. Meaning you leave the application or the appliance with the default configuration, paving way for an attacker who knows that the default configuration has a username, admin, password. Am I clear? Yes or no? Correct? Okay. Excellent. Now, using components with known vulnerabilities, there is a very popular saying. They say the world's most secure piece of code. I repeat, the world's most secure piece of code in 2019 becomes one of the most vulnerable piece of code in 2020 without changing one line of the code. I repeat, the most secure piece of code in 2019 becomes the most vulnerable piece of code in 2020 without changing one line of the code. You might wonder, how is that possible? Yes or no? Right? It is possible because constant evolution of libraries, dependencies, header files, DLL files, etc., which helps you inherit certain advanced functionalities, make the whole system vulnerable. For an example, assume, say in a typical C++ program, right? You start with hash include stdio.h or hash include conio.h. Yes or no? Which is typically including a header file of standard input output or console input output. Yes or no? Which helps you get the features of getAs function, putAs function, scanf function, printf function, etc. Correct? Imagine stdio.h file had a vulnerability. If it had a vulnerability, what happens? The whole application, whichever uses that particular header file, also now becomes vulnerable. Yes or no? Right? And the last one is insufficient logging and monitoring. So what happens in insufficient logging and monitoring? You have an application, you have a very detailed application. However, the auditing and the audit trial, they call it the AAA: authorization, authentication, and the audit trial, right? So these three A's have to be clearly defined on the application. There has to be a very strong logging mechanism. The logging mechanism might not come useful all the time, but apparently when you know that something wrong has happened, that is exactly when you know what you should do and who has committed a particular crime. It usually helps in investigation and forensic scenarios. Am I clear? Yes or no? Can you all please confirm me if you're able to understand? Excellent. Okay, now having said these vulnerabilities, let me quickly open up Paintbrush, and I'm just going to sample open up Acunetics demo site. Okay. Okay, please pay attention. This is a demo website of Acunetics. Okay, what is Acunetics? Acunetics is a popular security scanning tool. Now I see I'm just searching for a login page. Okay, sign up disabled. Please use username test and password test. Okay, I say test 1 2 3. Is it logging? No, it is not logging because please pay attention. I'm saying test 1 2 3. Clicking login, it is only throwing an error message. Yes or no? Okay. Please pay attention. I want you to think of this. I type in a username called ABC and the password also I type in ABC $123. Okay, for your information, I'm just changing it. Test 123. Am I clear? Okay. So what do? I open up. I'm just taking this example in here. I'm taking it to Paintbrush. Okay. I want you to notice what will be the SQL query when I click on this login button. When you type in a username and a password column and say login, what actually happens? There is a SQL query that gets generated when you click on the login button, and it is run against the database server. Yes or no? And the database server now responds back saying the user account ABC with the password test123, does it exist or not? If it exists, then it gives you a success message and the application logs you in. Am I clear? Yes or no? Okay, now please pay attention. This is a very, very, very critical vulnerability, and this has made a lot of websites get hacked in no time. Okay, very simple but a very effective attack. Okay, please pay attention here. So I'm just typing in the likely query that gets executed. Select. Okay, I type it in red. Select asterisk from login details, which is the table name. Select asterisk from table name where UID or user ID equal to single quote, whatever we type there as ABC will come there, and PWD equal to single quote and a single quote. Am I clear? Yes or no? Please confirm me if you're all able to understand till this. Excellent. So this will be the query that is behind this login button, correct? Now, please pay attention. What happens when I type and clicks this as a username password ABC test123? The ABC comes here and test123 comes here. Yes or no? Are you all able to follow this? Right. But I know for certain that the user account ABC or the user account test is there, or let me say admin and test. It's not working. Why? Because the admin account's password test does not exist on the system. Am I clear? Now what I'm going to do is I am just going to change the password something like this, single quote or 1 equal to 1 hyphen hyphen. What is this going to do? Just think of this. Okay. Instead of this password, imagine I put this. Yeah. Please notice this open single quote is closed by this single quote. Yes or no? This open single quote is closed by this single quote, correct? Programmatically. But what I do is I enter in a password called single quote or 1 equal to 1 hyphen hyphen. What happens is this open single quote is programmatically now closed by my single quote. Correct? And I'm saying or understand this open single quote, close single quote or 1 equal to 1 hyphen hyphen, right? What is hyphen hyphen? Hyphen hyphen means commenting out whatever is after that, which means that this single quote will get commented out. Am I clear? So whatever we type in or 1 equal to 1 is a magical phrase that you could use on testing for SQL injection. Am I clear? Let us try that here. Single quote or 1 equal to 1 hyphen hyphen. Let us see login. No, it's not logged in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I go to google.com. Here I search for in URL admin login.asp. There are multiple sites which are loaded. I'm clicking one of the sites. If you notice, correct, I type in username called admin, password called test 1234, whatever. It throws an error message, yes or no? Correct. Now what do? I say single quote or I type the same thing that we typed in here, right? Let us see what happens now. Boom, it's again not going in. Boom, what happens here? You actually got logged in into the site. You actually got logged into the site without knowing the right password. Am I clear? Yes or no? We did not know what the password was. We just entered in this data. Kevin says, wow. Okay. So what happens here is the data that we entered in is programmatically forcing, we are trying to force programmatically saying that the entered password or 1 equal to 1 is a true password. Am I clear? Yes or no? Correct? Excellent. So these are some very popular attack technique. However, I've just scratched the mere surface of a lot of test cases that we perform. I'm glad that you say mind blowing, funny. Thank you. Um, so we just saw very interesting vulnerability, two interesting vulnerabilities. One we saw DNS zone transfer attack. The second one we saw the Sql injection attack. Right? Do you have any questions on what we covered for the day? Wow, Ian says you are the man, Mr. Vino. Excellent. So the idea of what we just saw is only maybe 1 or 2 test cases, but apparently we perform close to around 67 test cases when we do a proper security assessment, right? In case you are interested to learn a little more about our test cases or get to know about how we perform a proof of concept, etc., I would request you to please contact our team. You can contact us at info@wati.com or cyber@wati.com. We would be happy to assist back with possible remediation techniques, or we can also suggest you what you should do as best practices as such, right? Okay. So from day one, we have been covering quite a few very interesting topics. But apparently in day 3, if you notice, day 1, day 2, and day 3, the complexity of what we showed slowly started to increase, right? So apparently, if you're looking for a full-fledged training program, it will be totally different. It will be very hands-on, etc., right? So apart from that, in case any of you have any questions for what we covered for the day, I'd be more than happy to accommodate. I'll be able to take any questions, right? So I'm putting myself on mute. In case you have questions, you can post it on the chat option available. We can take it from there. And last but not the least, I will try to accommodate a small quiz competition after that. Vijay, do you already have questions that the participants have asked you? How is it, Vijay?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, Lamar Chapham. Okay, what was the dork command? Okay, what did I do as a dork? What is dork? Okay, dork is a very interesting way of using search engine effectively for different reasons. Okay, so what did I do? I simply said in URL admin login.asp, which means that any site which has admin login as their URL, show me. I've just done that. Or you can say .php also. So this is the dork that we used. Am I clear? Excellent. How many of you would like to take a small quiz competition? Okay, let me try to log in and give a link back to you. Hold on a moment, please. Okay. Yes, Elaine, this quiz competition will contain all the topics we covered from the day one, right? So let me quickly see if I'm able to load it from my system. I think they have made it a paid one. Let me check. Okay, they are forcefully making us. I think they want us to buy a particular package or something, so which I'm not interested right now. Sorry for making you all wait. I'm just loading up this page. I want all of you to open www.kahoot.it, Kahoot.it. Please open kahoot.it. Okay, it is asking for PIN. Okay, let us see. Oh God, it's quickly redirecting us. So let's see. Oh God. I'm very sorry. It's constantly redirecting me. So what should I do? Should I buy something or what? Let me say free trial. Flush your cache. It's not about the cache. I have tried it earlier. So maybe like what you're saying, I'll retry it back from this. Let us see if it logs in. I think at last we have found the link. Good. Okay. Can you all please confirm me if you're all able to see the screen, please? Can you all please confirm me if you're all able to see the screen? Excellent. Okay. So I want all of you to please enter in the pin that is seen on the display. We see a pin code that is available for you, right? So please use the same pin code. Okay, I see people loading in. There are 12 people already loaded. I'll just give in a moment for all of you to log in. Please go to www.kahoot.it, type in this pin code. So we have close to 35 people logged in already. Very nice. We have close to 40 people already logged in for the quiz competition alone. Okay, we have close to 50 people logged in already, right? So we have 53 people. Wow. Okay, let me give few more seconds. Please say it. I can't again. I can't log in. New levels. Okay, all you have to do is go to www.kahoot.it, either from your laptop or your mobile device. There's no issue there. And then key in your pin code that is given here, the game pin 6437359. Please key in that. Okay, I think we'll start now. We have close to 60 people already. Okay, please pay attention. I'm going to share the screen once again. This time, let me share the screen. Can you all please confirm if the screen is visible? I'm just going to enable the audio also. Wonderful. Excellent. So let us get started. Okay. You will be seeing a set of questions and 4 options for each of the questions. And I want you all to be little swift in responding to each of the questions, right? You will have to either select A, B, C, or D, right? You don't need to install the app. App is not required. Please go to kahoot.it and not kahoot.com from your browser. Please open kahoot.it. Am I clear? Okay, let us get started. Please pay attention to the question that is going to be posted to you right now. OWASP is dash. A. Software to security test your application. Software to secure your network from attacks. Exam to test your skills. Guideline to secure your web mobile network apps. We have 25 people answered. You have to be pretty fast. You have only few seconds for each of the question. And if you notice, we have 23 people with the right answer. We have 3 people with wrong answers. Rest of them didn't even respond to the answer, question. Okay, please be noted. You can still join into the website or the application. Just go to kahoot.it and enter in the game pin as given below. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Next question. Before that, let us see the scores. Who is the top scorer? We have Mike Lit with 902 points. Wonderful. We have Musa and Vinod Jr. Wow, there's someone with my own name. Very interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. SQL injection is an attack focused on dash database, files, operating system, web application. We have a lot of answers right now. Wow, we have 15 people with wrong answers and 40 people with right answers. Not bad at all. Very good. We have the top scorer, Mike Lit again. We have Musa and Vinod Jr. Still on the second and third place. So please be mindful. How fast you respond also adds up scores for you. Let's go to the third question. What is a bootloader? Boots the Cmos into memory, boots the antivirus into the operating system, software to load the operating system to memory, boots the firewall into the operating system. Interesting. Last 1 second. Okay. We have 18 people with right answers and rest all wrong answers. Bootloader is a software to load the operating system into the memory. If you ever noticed, when you switch on your computer and your computer asks if you have to log in into Linux or Windows, that option, right? It is asking you to log into Windows or Linux. That option is offered to you by the bootloader. Okay. And let us see the score. We have Mike Lit, Musa, and Ismail now. Vinod Jr. has gone out of the track. Let's go to the next question right now. Which of the following is not a mobile-related attack? Lip spoofing, Trojan, fake access point, alternate data streams. We have 20 people with right answers, rest with wrong answers. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Let's see the scores. So we have got Mike Lit go down 4 places. We have Musa now the first place. Not bad. Okay, let's go to the next question. Cross-site scripting is a dash. It's a client-side attack. It's a server-side attack. It's a server validation technique. Or is a client validation technique? Not bad. We have 22 people with right answers. Let us see the score once again. We have Sophie now leading the game, and we have Mike Lit second place. And interestingly, we have 3 players who have answered correctly in the last 3 questions. Let's go to the next question. Which of the following attack takes the best advantage of an authenticated logged in session? Okay. Session hijacking. We have 23 people with right answers. Not bad at all. Let's see the score. We have Sophie, Mike Lit, Musa. Wonderful. 4 players just hit the answer streak 3. Wonderful. Let's go to the 7th question. Which of the following keyloggers cannot be detected by antivirus software? Covert, stealth, software, hardware. Interesting. 24 people with the right answers, right? Not bad. Let's see the scores again. Mikelit, Test, and Musa. Let's go to the next, last but one question. No, it's 8th question. What is a vulnerability? Weakness or an error that can lead to compromise. Agent that has the potential to take advantage of the weakness. An action or event that might prejudice security. The loss potential of a threat. Wow, we have 38 people with the right answers. Not bad at all. Let's see the score again. We still have Mikelit, Test, and Musa still on the first 3 places. Let's go to the last but one question. Exploitation is dash. Attacking a vulnerability to benefit from, in securing an insecure code, writing regular expressions to create filters, network connectivity method. Wow. We have 42 people with right answers. Not bad at all. I think this is the first question where we have such a good number of right answers. Wow. We have Mikelit again leading the way. Let's go to the last question. DOS attack means risk operating system, denial of service, demand of software, data of security. Done. Okay, let's see the final scores. We have 38 people with the right answers this question. Let's see the overall scores. We have Musa, the runner-up. We have 3rd prize Musa, 2nd place Test, and the 1st prize goes to, wow, we have Mike leading the way. Let's also see Sophie and Kay being the runner-up. Congratulations, all of you. I hope that you all had fun time doing the quiz program. How many of you had fun? Excellent. Wonderful. Okay. Before I pass the stage on to Mr. Vijay, I would like to quickly talk a little about what is DevSecOps, right? DevSecOps has become one common question that has been often asked in most of our programs. So what is DevOps and what is DevSecOps, right? DevOps is development along with operations. Very simple, right? Development along with operations. So usually what happens is when you develop an application, right, you test for the application's functionality, correct? And you go for the next agile run, right? So what happens now? You look for the sprint. You again wait for another fortnight to go for the next sprint. Again for the next fortnight to the next sprint, right? But what exactly happens here, right? We don't have enough time and effort that is put behind for security in place, right? But apparently, security has to be taken as a fundamental of any core application development practice, right? For example, the cost of fixing a security bug after the application is developed, right, is very expensive as compared to creating application with consciousness of security being in mind, right? Having a security architecture over which the application is built makes the whole process a lot smoother and lot secure, correct? That is why SSDLC process came into picture. From SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle, we moved to something called the SSDLC, Secure Software Development Lifecycle, right? But apparently in the DevSecOps, it's a lot more streamlined and it's a very continuous activity, right? It's not a one-time activity. You never know. There is a push request or a pull request that's happening every moment. Even the moment we are having the chat right now, there is a push request and the pull request that happens to the GitHub repositories, private repositories. Yes or no? So having said that, how do you include security as a core component in this process itself, right? So we enable companies to become a DevSecOps compliant, development, operations, and security, right? So DevSecOps, security becomes a core component between the development and the operations together. Am I clear? Yes or no? Right? So there are multiple methods in which it is done. There are multiple softwares that are required. May you use different kind of platforms. Maybe you are using a AWS platform, or you're using a Google Cloud platform, or you're using Salesforce platform, whatever you're using, right? So it is important to understand that each of them have the same DevSecOps process in place, but the implementation is probably a little different. And that is exactly where we come in picture to help streamline your DevOps operation and slowly target in making them a DevSecOps operations. Am I clear? Excellent. So I just wanted to have a small word about this, but apparently, is there anyone who would like to give a quick feedback on Zoom right now? I would be happy to enable your video for giving a feedback. I'd love to hear your feedback as well. Anyone? If anyone of you like to give a feedback, please type in feedback on the comment section below. I'd be happy to enable video for you. Excellent. We have one Sunday Joseph. Vijay, are you there on the call?
Yes.
If yes, you can. I request you to kindly enable Sunday Joseph video access.
I could only enable him to talk though. Or
Hello? Hello, Vinod.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
he can't hear you, Sunday Joseph.
I'm sorry, Vijay.
We
I
can't
think
hear you. But,
Sunday got.
I can't believe. Can you see me?
yeah, now you have to enable your videos, Joseph.
Yeah, okay. This is me right here. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can.
So I said after going through your program these 3 days, I felt so empty. I felt so naked. So some of the things you showed, sometimes I do feel like, oh, maybe I'm protected. I just feel like there are a couple of times that I have to wipe out my computer just because I felt my mouse was moving. I felt somebody's using my mouse. So I don't know if I had an attack, but after going through your training, I felt like, yeah, I had series of attack. So definitely, personally, I would like to take a real full hands-on training to make sure I can protect myself against any vulnerability or attack, including my Wi-Fi as well. So there are so many places, so many means of attack that you've shown. So I think it's something that anybody in IT or even a layman should invest money into to learn. So I really want to appreciate both of you for putting this program together. My mind is blown right now. I've learned a lot.
Hey, thank you for saying that, Joseph. Means a lot to us. And thank you for your valuable feedback. We'll also take in your inputs for our upcoming sessions as well. And with regards to the training program, I'll request Vijay to get in touch with you, or have one of the team members to get in touch with you for any information that you might require on that.
Definitely, I would like to hear from the team.
Thank you very
Joseph.
much.
Appreciate your feedback.
Thank you. Vijay, do you mind making Srinivasa Krishna? Can you just switch on Srinivasa Krishna for the feedback?
Just a second. Let me see him.
Vijay, do you find Mr. Srinivasa Krishna there? He wanted to give a feedback. You there?
Yeah, now I can. And then he can start. You can start your video, Srinivasa Krishna. And ask, you can unmute yourself. Yes, we can see
Am I
you.
audible? Yeah,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes, we do. We do.
First of all, I'm very much happy to be a part of this boot camp. It's very impressive, and I learned a lot of things here. And especially, you opened my eyes. I'm just entering into a different world. Basically, I'm with AT&T. I was working in networking. I'm just trying to move my domain from networking to cybersecurity. I will definitely get in touch with Vijay for further learning. I was a little bit concerned about different things. I don't have that much of coding language, so I know that we have a source code review in pen testing. I have a little bit of knowledge in pen testing side. I want to have a session with Vijay so that I can learn more and I build a career in the cybersecurity.
You're on mute, Vinod. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Srinivasa. That definitely helps. Please do get in touch with us. We will certainly see what best we can do in terms of helping you with shaping up your career into cybersecurity. And my best wishes to you. Please do have a continued education, practice, and hands-on exercises going forward.
Yeah. Do we have this? Do we have office open in Ayappa Society, Hyderabad, or it's been closed?
No, we have the office, but currently because of the COVID situation, we don't have nobody in there. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
but surely send us an email. We will try to get in touch and then we'll work on it.
Sure. Definitely, I will get in touch with you. Thank you.
Srinivas. Yeah.
I had a great
Thank
time
you.
with Vijay and Vinod. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank you.
this wonderful session.
Absolutely.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else wants to give a feedback, or we can close for the day? If anyone wants to give a feedback, you can please type in feedback.
Don't be camera shy. Come on.
Excellent. So I think we will close for the day, Vijay. So thank you everyone for being a patient audience listening all through the program, and it is definitely such a opportunity for me to be a part of your program as well. And in case any of you have any requirements around cybersecurity, or may it be training or may it be consulting services, always do reach out to wati.com. We definitely are, into cybersecurity for a pretty long time. And I think we will be able to help you out in some form or shape. Right. So all the very best. And please remember, the best part in one's life is doing what people say you cannot do. All the very best. Do good. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys participating. And then, like we said, we will come up with a lot of other training programs too. But do send us your questions and feedbacks to info@wadi.com. And then you might already have, the given review. But if you have not given the review for us, please go ahead and then give us the reviews as well. And we really thoroughly enjoyed this 3-day journey with you guys. Looking forward for many more. Thank you so very much.